Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Sunrise, Florida from American Bank Center in Florida. It is the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs in their first meeting this year. It is an alternate night for Florida as they go back to old uniforms from the past, 2006 to be exact, as here's Reinhart. He'll bring it down the right side, moves in, and the Panthers taking on their former netminder here today, and Anthony Stolarz in between the Toronto Pipes. He gets his second straight start after a sharp one versus Boston last game. Picked up here in the corner, Montour, it's now Nylander. Dropping to the point, Carlo moving in is Morgan Riley. Riley weaves his way through but doesn't take the shot. It's Reinhart taking it back, and now Forsling out for Florida. In over the Toronto line, and he comes on Stolarz, centers that to the front, no one was there. The Maple Leafs need to win 6 of their remaining 10 games on the season to make the playoffs. They're 5-5 on the year. 11 wins is required. Here's Nylander, early chance. He's stopped by Bobrovsky, and he covers on that on the first shot of the night for Toronto. Yeah, you mentioned that the Maple Leafs need to win 6 of the remaining 10 games this season, and currently they're on pace to do less than that and miss the playoffs. Tanev down low, sent that around for Järnkrok and missed him, and Domi tried to find it in the corner, rolls around. Ekblad, Bennett now, through center, here come the Panthers, in over the Toronto line. Bennett was trying to go to the net, but Tanev took that back. Järnkrok, right back into the Florida zone. Just about halfway through a scoreless first period from Florida, 2006 throwback night here from Florida as the Panthers go back to the past. Here it's picked up by Kulikov, but given away, and now Bennett regroups with it. He has Rodriguez down the left side to Bennett, centered in front, and a good save made by Stolarz. It did get behind him, but not in. Here's John Tavares, eating that back into the Florida zone. This has been a hard building for Toronto to play in over the last few years. Domi a backhand, that's kicked out by Bobrovsky. Järnkrok, Fedin in front, but Kulikov the only one there, and now here come the Panthers. Rodriguez down the left side in front to Bennett. He drops Kulikov, letting it fly. That's stopped by Stolarz. Tanev to Waugh. Right back down into the Florida zone. Around the boards it goes. Picked up by Kulikov. He looks ahead for Lundell. Drops it off for Ekblad, and now down the right side. Ekblad looking, shooting. That's knocked out by Stolarz. Picked up by Ekman-Larsson. Trying to find it was Carlo. He did get it. Kicks that to the point. Listerainen had that back, and in the corner they battle for it, but it's the Leafs who dig it free. Waugh. He'll send back into the Florida zone. Under 4 to go in a scoreless first. Here's Scott Laughton moving in. Forehand stopped by Bobrovsky. Has another chance. That one to the net. May have shrugged off the pads. Here's Nyes. Gave that away to Lundell. Lundell the other way for Florida. 2 to go in a scoreless first. Lundell to the net. Drops for Lindgren. Moving in. That was knocked out. Sent ahead to Laughton. And right back into the Florida zone. Last minute of play here in the first period. Here's Tkachuk. Bumped along the boards, Laughton. Dropped that for Carlo. Centers it off to Riley. Moves in and shoots, and a glove save made by Sergei Bobrovsky as he covers on that. 5.8 seconds remaining here in the first. Well, no score here in the first period. Both these teams having a pretty tight game here so far today from Florida. Draw one back, picked up by Reinhart. He'll bring it up the left side, now in over the Toronto line. A shot goes way wide of the net to end the first period. No score through 20 minutes tonight from Sunrise, Florida. It's the Panthers and the Leafs. 0-0 after 1. Shots to goal in the game are 5-3 Toronto after 1. The hits are 5-3 Toronto. Faceoffs 2-1 Leafs. No power plays. Scoreless through 20 minutes. Period 2 coming up. Welcome into Period 2 from Sunrise, Florida tonight. It's the Panthers and the Maple Leafs. The first meeting of the year. Florida Panthers 8-4 on the season. Toronto 5-5. As here comes Montour with Verhaeghe to start the period. Reinhart shooting it. Kicked out by Stolarz. Got the right toe on it. Drop for Reinhart. Here's Montour moving in. He's stopped by Stolarz. Here's a third chance. Reinhart, that doesn't go. Fourth chance. It's in behind the goal. Back in front, the centering pass. And the Leafs cut that. Here's Brandon Carlo right back into the Florida zone. He'll chip it. Chased around by Nylander. Has a man in front, but it missed everyone and went back down the ice. Stolarz out of his net to play it. Rung around the boards to Mitchell. He's taken down. No call on the play. Here comes Tkachuk. Verhaeghe got the shot away. It's stopped by Stolarz. Matthews for Nylander. Up the right side, Leafs inside. They are not happy about that no call. It looked blatant on the trip. Set back down, and of course it was Tkachuk, and he gets away with it. As here's Ekman-Larsson. Nylander. Right back into the Florida zone, just about halfway. No score from Florida here tonight. Picked up here by Forsling. For Hagee. Now Tavares on the steal. He has Tanev from the right wing, letting it fly. It's off the blocker of Bobrovsky and up into the seating. We're about halfway. No score from Florida tonight. Leafs need to win 6 of their remaining 10 games to make the playoffs. So far 0-0 here in the 10th last game of the year. We're about halfway. Draw one, here's Tanev. Moves in and shoots. Blocked off a Panther and into the corner. Järnkrok trying to pick it up. He did. Nice strip of the puck. Centered in front. They score. Max Domi. Right where he needed to be in the slot. He taps it by the left leg of Sergei Bobrovsky, and Toronto strikes first here tonight. It's a board battle won by Järnkrok, and then he has open space. The Panthers don't cover him, and that pass comes right across. No chance as Max Domi sitting right there for the tap-in. 1-0 Toronto. A very important goal for them. So face-off back to center. Panthers fans shaking their heads, as that could have been prevented if defense did their job. Face-off one back by Montour. Sent ahead, given away to Järnkrok. He'll send right back into the Florida end. Just about halfway now. 1-0 Leafs, as here's Montour ahead for Bennett. Up on the wing, he finds Forsling. In over the Toronto line. Goes right to the net, and Leafs took that back as it shrugs wide. Ekman-Larsson. Tavares now. John Tavares stepping by. They got to stop him, and he got the shot, and a good save made by Bobrovsky. Turn that over to Rodriguez, but the Leafs keep in. Ekman-Larsson, the former Panther, and he got a shot away. It was handled. Back to the point, given away to Bennett. Here comes Florida now. Rodriguez down the right side, moves in and shoots. Blocked by Tanev. We'll send that to Wadden and right back into the Florida zone. 7 to go. 1-0 Toronto here in the second. And the Leafs are going to get the first penalty of the night after a blatant trip. No call. It's a hook on Matthew Nyes. And Florida to the first power play of the game, down 1. Nyes not happy about it. He definitely did get in on the hands. There's no argument there, but when penalties are only being called one way, of course, things are going to get ugly. Draw one here, left side, one back by the Panthers. Lindell Ekblad, he's stopped by Stolarz. A quick shot right off the face-off in the Toronto end. 6:26 to go here, second period. Leafs with the only goal. It's Max Domi with his third of the year. Here's the draw, left side. One back, picked up by the Panthers. Bennett to Ekblad. He centers for Rodriguez. Winds, centers, Lindell shoots. That's blocked, and McCabe is there to get it out and down the ice for the Leafs. Back to collect to the Panthers in their own end now, but Joshua gets in there for it. Here's Dakota Joshua, goes for a spin, fed it off to Riley. Wadden looking for the pass, it finds Joshua. Back to Morgan Riley. On the kill, still holding on to it, moves in, shoots! Save made by Bobrovsky. 10th shot in the game for Toronto. Here comes Rodriguez the other way on the power play, firing right on, deflects in front, they score! Tie game, Carter Verhaeghe. It's a power play goal. Well, the Panthers tie it up here in the second period. You put it to the net, you get rewarded. It's a giveaway by the Leafs in the SWAT, and a 2-on-1 and tight on the power play to tie things up late here in period 2 at 1. Here's the face-off back to center. 5:02 to go here, second period. 1-1 from Florida. The power play goal is here's a giveaway. Kulikov brings it in. Right side centers for Barkov. That went to the corner. Leafs trying to get in there after it. Picked up by the Panthers again. Ekblad moving in for the shot. Barkov centers it. Big save made by Stolarz. Loose in the paint. The Leafs trying to get it out. Nylander to Riley. It does just chip out to center. Picked back up by the Panthers again, and that's going to be yet another penalty against Toronto. Austin Matthews battling for the puck, took a man down, tripping the call. Florida back to the power play. Moments after the Panthers tie it, another chance here on the power play, 1-for-1 in the game. Here's the draw right side, one back. Montour shooting that, ricocheted wide, and Waugh picks that up, couldn't chip it out though. Picked up by Ekman-Larsson. He'll clear, and that goes wide of the Florida net. Back to get it is Montour. All over him was Steven Lorentz, picked up by Tkachuk. Centers through the middle of the ice for Reinhart. In over the Toronto line, it's Barkov. Looking, firing, save made. And it's picked up by Waugh. He'll send that ahead to Benoit. Couldn't catch up to it. Forsling. Up for Tkachuk. Gave that away. Leafs knock it down. Reinhart. Here's Barkov back in with Tkachuk. Looking, centers, Reinhart in front. And a good save made by Stolarz in tight against Barkov. A minute 16 to go, second period. 1-1 from Florida here tonight between the Leafs and the Panthers. Still 40 seconds to go in the power play. Draw one, Barkov centers. Forsling kicked out again by Stolarz. Laying it down, another save made. He got a blocker on that. And that should have been a penalty. A cross-check in the corner, no call. There's the shot that gets through, and Stolarz made the stop. Reinhart kept it in. Tkachuk down low. He's knocked out. Playing it around, that's Nyes going after it. Leafs having some trouble late here in the second. Bouncing puck came right in front. It's Tkachuk with the shot again. And Stolarz on the seat of his pants kept it out. And we're through two in Florida tonight. It's the Panthers and the Maple Leafs 1-1 after 2 from Sunrise, Florida tonight. Stolarz kept the Leafs in it late in that second period, and the Leafs should have had at least 3 power plays in that period. They end up with 0. The Panthers end up with 2. Shots a goal in the game are 18-10 for Florida. It's 1-1 after 2. The hits are 10-6 for the Panthers. Face-off 7-4 Florida. 1 for 2 on the power play. Toronto hasn't had one. 1-1 we go the third tonight from Florida. Welcome into period 3 from Panther Arena. There's the face-off back to center, taken in one back by the Panthers. Montour to Verhaeghe. He'll move in. Looking, shooting, blocked by the Leafs in front. And Riley finds Michelli. Michelli gave the puck away. Reinhart with it back. Here he comes. 2-on-1. Centered it. Deflected on goal, and Stolarz made the stop. Pass finds Matthews. He gave that away to Montour. Here's Verhaeghe. Up ahead for Reinhart. Back in comes Tkachuk to the net. He slashed, and another penalty going to Toronto. 3 calls that should have been called in the second against the Panthers. Not a single one. But Toronto has 3 penalties in the game as Brandon Carlo caught for a slash. Panthers back to the power play. They're 1 for 2. Yeah, it just gets a little bit hard to watch when the calls are one way in hockey games. And here tonight, it's been all Florida. Draw one back, picked up by Ekman Larsson, and the Leafs definitely have some arguing. And here's Bennett with a shot. It's knocked out by Stolarz. Joshua with it now. Short-handed, turned that over though, middle of the ice. Lundell back to it. He has Bennett in over the Toronto line, going to the net. Stopped on the backhand bid. Rebound in the paint. That's knocked out by Stolarz. Still free. Here's Ekblad. That didn't go. Panthers pressing. Here's a giveaway. They get it back, and the save made. Side door. Another stop. That goes to the corner. Panthers pressing on the power play. Side of the net. In behind it goes, and finally Benoit gets control and clears it down the ice. And after it goes Scotty Lawton. Just about took that away against Ekblad, but Ekblad wins the battle and gets it for Bennett. Bennett. Panthers with control. It's Rodriguez, and that will do it for the power play. One last chance for Hagee. Stopped by Stolarz. 1 for 3 on the night, Florida. Waugh from Brandon Carlo. In he comes, centers it off to Waugh. Shooting it. Good blocker stop. And the rebound Bobrovsky got across to as well. In the corner, Waugh. Back to Riley for the setup. It's Yarncroke letting it fly. And Bobrovsky has that with no traffic in front. Just about 7 gone here in the third. 1-1. It's the Panthers and the Maple Leafs in their first meeting of the year. Here's the draw, left side of the Panther net. These two teams always with tight games, as here's a giveaway. Carlo looking for a shot, couldn't get one. Morgan Riley will try again. He's stopped. Rebound bouncing away from Yarncroke. Penalty coming to Florida. Here's Domi. Centered to Carlo. Finally something going Toronto's way. It'll be their first power play of the night unless they do something here with the extra man. Pass finds Carlo. Moves in. Brandon Carlo. A backhand. Fed in front. That was chipped wide. Here's Domi to the net. Shooting it. That went wide. Picked up by Matthews. Riley. Yarncroke. Here's Carlo. Shooting it. Save made. Rebound in the paint. Panthers need to touch it. They finally do. And Toronto will go their first power play of the game with 9:03 to go, third period. in a 1-1 tie. You can see the Panthers, they're complaining about this, but it's a clear trip, and they've already gotten away with 3 to 4 no calls in this game. Toronto's been caught every time. They've done something today, and Panthers 1 for 3, on their power play attempts. Toronto here with their first, with 9:03 remaining in the third. Drawn one back, picked up Panthers. Lilligren to Brody. Here's Gadjevich. And here he comes shorthanded, moving right in the Toronto end. Leafs pick it up, Michelli needs to get something set on the power play pass to Tavares. That did not button him at all, and Lundell will kill more time as the Leaf power play dwindles down here. Tavares, Riley, sent ahead Michelli, and it's offside against the Leafs. 8:09 to go here in the third. They can't get anything set up on the power play. Shots in the game are 26-15 Florida. Still 1:06 to go in the power play. They got to get something working here. Draw one back. Panthers have it. Montour. And right back in the Toronto end again. Riley to collect. Riley finds Michelli 2-on-1. He has Nylander with him. Michelli shoots. Blocker stop, rolls in behind, fed in front. There's the shot. That's blocked. Tavares has it. Down low, circling the net. It rolled in front. Nylander, 20 seconds left in the power play. There's another pass that fails. In behind the net, picked up by Matthews. Fed to the point, Michelli. 5 seconds to go in the power play. A shot, tipped, stopped. And the Panthers kill it off. The Leafs had a good look at the end of the power play, but it doesn't fall. Lusterainen looking to the crease. He'll center and now drop a shot. That's blocked by Riley, and he has a break. Morgan Riley, all he's got, backhander, scores! He had 2 Panthers on him and still found a way to sneak it inside the left post against Bobrovsky and give Toronto a late 2-1 lead from Florida tonight. Look at this, the Panthers barreling down on him. He only has one move, the backhand, and he makes it count. A nice backhand from the right circle and inside the left post against Sergei Bobrovsky. So Toronto takes the lead back late with 5:04 on the clock. Panthers shaking their heads that found a way in. Here's Lusterainen. He'll move to the net centers. There's a shot blocked. Stenlund to the goal handled. Rebound in the paint, and Stolar's got that too. Shutting down his former team well here tonight. Lundell, that's blocked by the Leafs in front. Now another shot. That got through. It was handled. And Michelli and the Leafs. Nylander up the board side. He'll send in to the Florida zone. 29 shots in the game for the Panthers. Matthews, a sharp angle shot handled. Nylander put it to the net. And Bobrovsky covers as we're down to 1:42 to go. 2-1 Toronto from Florida tonight. 2006 throwback night for the Florida Panthers. Not going the way they wished it did. 2-1 Toronto in front late. Forsling. Montour. Here's Verhaeghe. They're going to look to pull the goalie, and Verhaeghe comes inside, going to the net, shooting it. He scores! Walks right in and rips it by Stolarz. And we're tied in the final minute at 2. With just 46 seconds left to play in the third period. The Leafs with a breakdown just inside their line. And Verhaeghe has all the time and space to rip this by Stolarz. Right up and over the blocker, and we're tied late, 2-2. Face-off back to center ice. Back-to-back games, the Leafs have blown 2-1 leads in the third period, and it ended up going to OT. Here's Domi with a chance to the net, fired off the side of the goal. Tkachuk, he gave that away. Leafs keep it in. It's Carlo, has a man in front, off the post. Tavares had it clean, but it hit iron. Oh my goodness, the game was on his stick, and it wouldn't fall. Here's Reinhart the other way. Carlo took that back, seconds running down. Here's Max Domi. 3 seconds, Domi fed it in front. Big save made by Bobrovsky with no time left here in the third. Right off the iron, John Tavares had the game on his stick and could not put it in. We're going to overtime again for the Maple Leafs. 2 straight games going to extra time. They beat Boston 3-2 back in Toronto in overtime, and now looking to do the same thing here on the road tonight in Florida. Shot to goal after 3. The Panthers 30 with 2. The Leafs 23 with 2. The hits are 13-7 Florida. Faceoffs 14-6 Panthers. 1 for 3 on the power play. Toronto 0 for 1. We head to overtime. Welcome into overtime tonight from Panther Arena. It is the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs in their first meeting of the year. As here we go. Pass finds Matthews. He'll break in, man open, and it just missed Nylander. Carlo with that back fitted in front. Matthews, it rolled off his stick before he could get a shot. Here's Montour. Matthews took him into the boards and plays it out front. They score! William Nylander, set up by Austin Matthews in the right corner. He fed it out front, and Nylander chips it by the blocker's side of Bobrovsky, and the Leafs find a way and get it done here in overtime tonight. 3-2 from Florida. A good back-and-forth game all night. It's never an easy building to play in for the Maple Leafs, but they find a way. Matthews outraces to the puck. He'll feed it out front, and Nylander with the perfect finish to put the icing on the cake for the Leafs here tonight. Well, with that win, just 9 games remain in the season. Toronto needs 5 of them to make the playoffs, as they're now 6-5 on the year. The Panthers 8-4-1. Your final score from Florida tonight, it's the Maple Leafs 3, the Florida Panthers 2 in overtime. Coming up now, the Toronto Marlies will take on the Belleville Senators in Belleville. We hope to see you there.